Rogue One? More like Rogue Fun. Oh my god! Am I really starting my review with that? What's happening, my film nerds? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's right, our first Star Wars anthology film. Kathleen Kennedy even said, oh, this is a test. This is a test whether the anthology films are going to work or not. So I'm going to review it and say, like, does it work? Does it not? I'm going to let you guys know. We know the story of Star Wars Rogue One because we already heard everything about it. And as soon as I heard the announcement and the story for this, I was super in. I was fucking in. We know that a group of rebels are going to steal the plans for the Death Star to get to the other rebels, so then Luke Skywalker can use the Force and shoot those fucking torpedoes right in that hole and just blow it up. That's vaguely sexual. Is the Force, Luke? Completely on board to see what happens with that. And what did I think of Rogue One, a Star Wars story? Oh, it's pretty fantastic. I liked it a lot. Didn't love it. Oh, there's so much crowd-pleasing shit in here. Oh my god, there's so much stuff that just tingles your nerd balls and everything like that. I mean, I'm gonna do a spoiler review and I'm gonna talk about all that stuff. And I didn't think it was overbearing. Some reviewers I saw that they thought that the little Easter eggs and little tie-ins to the saga films was a bit too much. I thought it was perfect. Gareth Edwards, man, I tell you what, and I even said this in my first reaction review, and this goes back to Godzilla. He builds up. He builds up Act 1, Act 2, and then Act 3 is just nothing but just... It's what he did with Godzilla. A lot of people are pissed off walking away from Godzilla. They're like, I barely saw Godzilla in the movie except for the end. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And he kind of does that here because it does drag a little bit. The film does drag slightly, Act 1, you kind of get a sense of, okay, this is starting, and it does kind of drag. And then Act 2, it's like, oh, here's some characters. Oh, but then it's kind of like, But then Act 3, Jesus. I mean, I tell you what. I mean, it just makes it worth the while. I mean, that's what you came to see, is that Act 3. The visuals are stunning. It's beautiful. The war. I mean, it really did feel like a war film. I mean, it doesn't feel... I even said this when I first saw the trailer. It was like, it doesn't feel like a Star Wars film, but it still kind of does. You had that hint, and I love that because everything's like gritty and grungy and everything. It's a darker Star Wars film, and that's what this needed. Other things I liked was K2SO, the robot that's played by Alan Tudyk. Totally great. I mean, he steals the show. He does. With his jokes and everything, the way he does more things than other droids have done in Star Wars movies. Donnie Yen's character was straight out badass, and I really wish we could have found out more about him and saw a little bit more, got a little more characterization. And this is where the film really suffers big time, is the characterization. I didn't feel for these characters really at all. Donnie Yen and Wang Zhang's character, Baze Malbus and Chirrut Îroi, I'm really that. I mean, these are fake names. I'm bad with regular names. I really liked their character because he had one guy who's blind and needs help, so he has the assistance of this one dude who's just like carrying around a big fucking gun that's just straight up badass. But he's Force sensitive, and he could be a badass as well, and he does some really cool shit in here, but you just really don't get a sense of their characters at all. You really want to know more about them, as well as the other characters, as well as Diego Luna's character, as well as, what's the other guy, Riz Ahmad's character. I mean, you really wanted to know these characters, and to be honest, Jyn and Erso, not really likable at all. Rey was likable. Jyn, not so much. This is where the movie really suffered from me because I just really didn't care for these characters. I cared for K2SO more than any of the characters. I cared for the droid. I was like, please don't let anything happen to the droid. The other characters, I don't give a shit. And then there's one in particular character that I was like, I want to see more of him. And he's not there. And you guys know who I'm talking about. It's that guy. But there's one in particular scene. Oh my god. Best Darth Vader scene ever on film. That's pretty much my only gripe about it is like they just didn't give enough time for the characters to breathe. They didn't give enough characterizations. I didn't care for the characters like I did in Force Awakens. And a lot of people are going like, oh my god, this movie, oh my god, Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, and then Rogue One. And I'm like, nope. To me, I like Force Awakens better. Don't hate me. It's just the way I feel, guys. But with all that, does Rogue One, a Star Wars story, belong on the favorite wall of 2016? Yes, it still does. So much good things in here. I cannot wait to see it again. I'm going to do a spoiler review. And yeah, I mean, regardless of like some of the messiness that's in there, and again, it's just like you could see the studio with the reshoots and like, oh, we got to reshoot this. You could kind of see it a little bit because it does get a little messy, like certain other movies from Warner Brothers. You kind of could see it a little bit here because it does get a little messy, and it's just not enough with the characters. You just don't care about the characters like you should. But it's still pleasing. That third act is just nothing but greatness. I mean, the CGI, the action sequence, the fucking, the X-Wings and everything, the space, when they're fighting in space and then they're fighting on the beach, it's just nothing. The AT-ATs, woo! God, Gareth Edwards just knows how to do the scale because you can see how big they are. You know, he shoots from the ground just like he did in Godzilla. So, I mean, direction's great. Just what lacks is the characters and a little bit with the script. That's all I have to say about that. So let me know if you saw Rogue One, a Star Wars story down below, guys, and let me know what you thought about it. Also, hit that like, thumbs up button. Subscribe to both of my channels, guys. Follow me on the Sockments, too. All right, guys. Talk